I am about to say something that might make you stop. I hope it does make you stop. You are not overwhelmed. You are exhausted from trying to be the woman that you think you should be. And I want to just let that land for a moment. Because if you spent half or part or most of these holidays feeling frazzled, feeling stretched thin, feeling on the brink of tears perhaps, it's not because you're weak or because you're failing or because you're incapable or because there's something wrong with you. You are overwhelmed. You are feeling completely exhausted because as you go through life, as you have gone through these holidays, you have been carrying identities primarily, and then expectations and emotional loads as a result of these identities that are unbelievably heavy and also unbelievably unnecessary, although they feel necessary. But this ends today. I cannot wait to talk about this. But before we get into it, I just want to say, for those who are listening to this on the podcast, welcome back to The Resilient Working Mum. I have missed you. I have been on a sabbatical. And so if you're listening on the podcast, I am so glad that you are back here with me. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello and welcome. I am Charlotte. I am a resilience specialist for working mums, and this is the very beginning of a brand new season, a brand new year of identity-led resilience. Now, the Resilient Working Mum podcast, as I say, has been on a hiatus for a few months, not because I was bored of it or I was burnt out or I was over it, but because I was taking a break, which you are allowed to do every now and again. I was recalibrating. I was kind of clarifying things. I was finding more certainty in who I am and in how I want to serve you. And I needed to step back from the podcast so that I could take a breath and come back into this year more grounded, more certain, more aligned with the woman that I'm becoming and the woman that can serve you with the work that I know I'm meant to bring into the world. And now I am ready, and I am so excited to take you with me this year as we shift your perspectives, as we change ideas about how you have to live life, and how we can help you to find some peace and calm, even as the chaos of 2026 swirls around you, the chaos of starting a new year and moving into that new year, school, work, life, health, all of the things. So today we are starting your year not with resolutions. This is not about putting more pressure or about being better. Let's start this new year with some truth. Let's start it with the truth about why you feel overwhelmed. Let's start it with the truth about why nothing you tried last year shifted things for long. Truth about the identities that you have been performing often or probably always without realizing it, and about why balance or the search for balance has failed you over and over again, and why it's so exhausting to keep searching for it. We are going to talk about the truth, about the version of yourself that you are ready to step into to be this year. So whether you're driving, you're walking, maybe you've locked yourself in the bathroom with a cup of coffee, you're watching this on YouTube, on your phone, under the covers while everyone's asleep, wherever you are listening or watching, today is a reset. Today I am offering you a nervous system reset, an identity reset, a leadership reset. We're having a full you reset as you start this new year with anticipation and hope and excitement for what is possible. Or even if you are, I mean, you may well be starting it off frazzled, exhausted, feeling slightly defeated already. It is time to change that. We are going to move into this year building the skill set and the mental muscles of resilience that are going to help you stand certain, steadfast, and firm. So let's talk about what's really been going on under the surface. Let's talk about the real reason you feel overwhelmed, which may well surprise you. You are not overwhelmed because life is unusually hectic, although I'm not saying that it isn't. It is hectic. There is a lot going on as we come out of Christmas into the new year, but it's not the hecticness, if that's a word, of your life that creates this feeling of dis-ease inside you. You are overwhelmed and stressed and out of ease because you have spent years, probably decades if you're my age, working so hard to be a version of yourself that you think is acceptable, is admired, respected, successful, is good enough, is good at all. And so you have been performing identities that get you there. Identities like the good girl who has a rule that says we have to do it perfectly and not upset anyone. Maybe you've been performing the achiever. This is my false identity that I've held for so long, is work harder, be faster, produce more, hustle. We got to be achieving, as the name says. The overfunctioner who says yes to everything, carries everybody's load so nothing falls apart. I'll do it. This was also another one that I held on to for a long time. Or one that we think that is just our personality, the people pleaser, who is happily keeping everyone happy, even if it costs you your peace and your joy, and your energy. So I want to just first of all say, none of these energies, none of these identities are bad. They were brilliant survival strategies. As you were growing up, they helped you to belong, to succeed, to feel safe, to feel loved. And it felt good to feel that way. But now they are exhausting you. Now they are actually sabotaging you. They are pummeling you with rules that tell you how to show up. They're making you run around, chasing your tail, doing it all right, and feeling like you are failing because you just can't keep up. And then you end up doing the things that you didn't want to do. You keep snapping, you can't focus, you just long for a moment on your own. And the real reason you feel overwhelmed is not because you can't cope. But it's because you have been coping with a litany of things that are actually too much for one person to carry. You've been doing it all because these identities have been telling you that you should be doing it all. And as a result, your nervous system is tired. Your mind is cluttered and full of noise. Your energy is leaking. Your boundaries are blurred. And I hear this all the time, this kind of loss of who am I? Your sense of self has been so stretched thin by all the shoulds that are going through your head all day long and probably all night long too. And it is exhausting. So, what do we do about this? This year, we're going to make a shift. And what we're doing in 2026 is not about fixing yourself. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's about shifting. I want you to take a moment to think about that woman, pre-children, pre-responsibility and pressure and stress. Think about the things that brought her joy, how she felt, what she spent her time doing. So many driven working women, mums I talk to say they can't even remember who they were before children, who they were before responsibility and pressure. Look, maybe the pressure started before you had children because you are an achiever and you've always achieved, and you've had this experience of pressure for time immemorial, really. But let's think about when you felt your most free, your most kind of light. Maybe it was when you felt your most alive, when you didn't feel this experience of overwhelm and frazzlement. This year is about becoming that woman again, that version of you that is there, but she's just there beneath the pressure and the expectation and the internal chaos that's going on, that if we're honest, we think is created by the external chaos. But getting ahead of myself here, we'll go into that as we go along. But yeah, we're going to this year find that woman who is calm under fire, who's clear under pressure, who has the capacity to be present at dinner, who has the ability to set boundaries without feeling guilty. That woman who is confident without overthinking, who is able to stand steady when life is chaotic, when life gets messy. So this is not balance. And we're going to talk about that as we move on. Balance is this kind of external thing we look for and is quite frankly a lie, a myth, if you will. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we are looking for equilibrium. We are looking for the internal steadiness that is going to let you be that woman I've described. So this year, let's build that instead of chasing balance. And how do we do that? Well, there's a formula I've been teaching inside my group coaching program, Resilient, which helps you shift from that frazzled, overwhelmed, unbalanced place to a place of internal equilibrium. I work with my clients over 6 months to do this, but today I want to offer you the heart of that program, of the work that we do, and it is quite simply this. When your identity is unstable, stress becomes this kind of personal thing because everything you experience, every email, every sigh or raised eyebrow or look in the school parking lot, every request to do something more becomes a potential threat to your being accepted, to your belonging. But when your identity is solid, your stress becomes something insignificant. It doesn't run your life because you are no longer under threat. You no longer strive to belong, and your nervous system knows that you are safe. So one way of saying this is that stress is not the problem. It is identity friction that is causing you so much chaos. You get stressed because part of your brain is telling you all the time to do more, to do better, don't fail, don't drop the ball, don't let anybody down, don't slow down, you'll fall behind. And all these voices are coming at you from the identity you believe you should be in order to be safe. Safe through belonging, safe through being accepted, safe through being loved. But this year we are going to quieten down those identities so that you can hear the voice of your true identity, the identity that you were when you were that little girl who was free and able to be her, that little girl. I always think of children when I look at them in the trolley and they smile at me and they engage with me and they really believe that they are valuable and worthwhile and worth your attention and your engagement. So maybe you've had this moment. I had it on a run once, and I remember coming back from my run and saying to my husband that I'd had this moment. But maybe you've had it when you have been standing in your kitchen trying to cook supper and everybody's at you. Maybe it was in a meeting. Maybe it's in the school parking lot. Maybe you haven't even thought this thought, but it kind of sits there always underneath what you are thinking. I can't keep doing life like this. And it's not because your life is bad. And of course, you probably feel guilty for even thinking the thought that you just thought or the thing I just said. It's not because life is bad. It's not because your life is bad, but it's because you are so exhausted from performing, from being on. You are absolutely exhausted from holding everything together, from trying to be this someone you think you should be and doing all the things that that person does. And in that moment where you think this thought, you do not need more motivation. You do not need better systems. You do not need a vision board or color-coded calendar. You need the relief that comes from identity stability and internal equilibrium, which are the products of resilience. And that is what we're building this year. So here is your first identity-based resilience practice of 2026. And it is called the identity interrupt. The next time you feel overwhelmed, I was going to say old, maybe that's also what you feel, but the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, who am I trying to be right now? Don't ask yourself what's wrong with me, or why can't I cope, or why is this so hard for me and she seems to be managing so well. Just ask yourself, who am I trying to be? It's an interesting question, not necessarily one we ask ourselves very often. And when you've answered that question, if you can answer that question, ask yourself, who do I actually want to be? What matters for this season of my life? What's true about me? And this is how you begin to shift from performance, from that pressure of performing, to a place of presence and focus and peace. That is identity-led resilience in action. So this year on this YouTube channel or inside the Resilient Working Mum podcast, we are going to be building executive identity so that you can lead from a place of certainty, leading your workplace, leading your home, leading yourself through nervous system steadiness, boundary-led leadership, emotional clarity and regulation, cognitive calm and clear thinking, self-trust, building that internal equilibrium so that you can have a brand new relationship with stress. This is not a year of balance. This is a year of internal equilibrium that comes from building your resilience. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. And I would love to invite you, if this episode landed for you, if you are excited about this year, share it with a friend, a colleague, another working mum who's tired of performing and hustling and trying to be everything for everyone. You can work alongside with her, listen, support each other as you build that resilience this year. This is going to be your year, not because your life is going to change, your circumstances are going to change and everything is going to be perfect, but because you will not be performing anymore. You will be finding out who you are when you are not performing. And that woman is fabulous. She is valuable, she is calm, she is peaceful, she is at ease. She performs at her best. I am so glad you are here. Let's begin.